How to fight depression and loneliness without outside help. Depression and loneliness are common feelings, but sometimes those feelings can become overwhelming. There are steps you can take on your own to control those feelings, such as correcting dysfunctional thinking, structuring your day, and paying attention to your health. Keep in mind that depression is a very complex illness and you may still need to get outside help to significantly improve. 1. Recognize common types of dysfunctional thinking. Dysfunctional thinking is a way of framing the world so that you feel you're always fighting an uphill battle. Some common examples include polarized thinking, not allowing for any gray areas in life, or thinking in black and white, filtering or discounting the positives, focusing on the negative of a situation and ignoring any positives, fortune telling, thinking that you know what will happen in the future, mind reading, thinking you know that others are thinking badly of you or that you are responsible for their negative feelings, overgeneralization, thinking that one bad experience guarantees more bad experiences, blaming yourself for things you are not responsible, emotional reasoning, thinking with emotions or letting emotions affect how you perceive an event, should statements, using terms such as should, must, and ought to in your thinking. This is a form of judging yourself. Magnification and minimization, thinking that make issues seem larger than they are or trying to ignore issues. Labeling, using terms that diminish your whole self-concept by being known as a certain trait or mistake. 2. Find a journal to write in. Journaling can be a useful tool in order to analyze your own thoughts without outside help. Journaling can help you identify and change the way you think and behave. This practice has also been shown to help decrease stress, which can be a byproduct of depression and loneliness. Find whatever works best for you. This can be a notebook, loose-leaf notebook paper, or your computer. 3. Monitor your emotions in your journal. Our thoughts greatly influence how we feel and how we interpret and perceive our environments, our futures, and ourselves. People who suffer with depression often have thoughts that they are worthless, unlovable, or undeserving, and they often have thoughts that their environments are overwhelming, have insurmountable obstacles, and that their futures are hopeless. Many who suffer from depression feel powerless to change how they feel in the course of their lives. Our thoughts greatly influences our feelings and behaviors, which is the basis for cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT has been shown to be successful for treating depression. Relapse depression symptoms were much lower for those who had undergone CBT than for those who were being treated with medications alone. A great way to start this process is to monitor your emotions and automatic thoughts by recording them in a journal or daily record. Start first by noticing mood changes, then begin to analyze what your thoughts had been just prior to feeling differently. For example, event: I received poor feedback on my presentation at work. Feelings: I felt embarrassed. Here is another example. Event: I forgot to sign the birthday card for my boss. Feeling: I felt regretful and embarrassed. 4. Write down your automatic thoughts. Automatic thoughts are the things that pop into your head spontaneously. They tend to pertain to 3 types of ideas: ideas about yourself, about the world, and about the future. After you've identified your emotions about an event where your mood changed, you can start to analyze the automatic thoughts that correspond to the event. Then you can evaluate these thoughts to determine how they are dysfunctional, challenge them by looking for evidence for and against the thought. In your journal, create a chart in which you can record certain situations, their corresponding emotions, and the thoughts you had just prior to your emotions. For example, event: I received poor feedback on my presentation at work. Feelings: I felt embarrassed. Automatic thought: I am so stupid. Identify the dysfunctional thought. You are labeling yourself. Here is another example. Event: I forgot to sign the birthday card for my boss. Feeling: I felt regretful and embarrassed. Automatic thoughts: I know my boss hates me now. Identify the dysfunctional thought. You are trying to mind read. 5. Write down rational thoughts to reframe the automatic thoughts. Counteract your automatic labeling with thoughts that are more rational. Some ways to generate more rational thoughts include looking for evidence for or against the automatic thought, looking to your past for a similar situation in which the automatic thought did not hold true, and analyze the situation for blame and logically redistribute responsibility for feelings and events to others that may have been involved. For example, event, I received poor feedback on my presentation at work. Feelings, I felt embarrassed. Thoughts, I am so stupid. Rational thought, I am not my thoughts or behaviors. I am not a label. I am not stupid. I made a mistake and will do better in the future. Here is another example. Event, I forgot to sign the birthday card for my boss. Feeling, I felt regretful and embarrassed. Automatic thoughts, I know my boss hates me now. Rational thought, I cannot know what my boss is thinking about me. It was an honest mistake. I can always verbally tell my boss happy birthday. 6. Plan out each hour of your day. Help combat depression and loneliness by keeping structure in your day with a daily schedule. The use of a schedule helps depression by counteracting the loss of motivation, hopelessness, and decreasing time for rumination, which are all associated with depression. Rumination is the activity of replaying a scenario or problem in your head over and over, like a broken record. While some people consider rumination as a form of problem solving, I'm thinking through this problem from every angle until I come up with a solution. If the problem is upsetting, you will end up continuing to be upset until you stop thinking about it. Find a day planner that has space for hourly scheduling. Make sure you plan each hour of your day. Incorporate time for journaling, rest, exercise, relaxation, and self-care. To combat loneliness, schedule time to connect with a social group or a pet. 7. Consult your schedule frequently. Carry your schedule with you so that you're following it closely. It's important to follow through with each activity, so prepare yourself by knowing what comes next throughout the day. 8. Track how you felt during the activity. After you have completed your scheduled activities, write down the level of competency you felt about completing the activity, as well as the level of pleasure experienced, if any. This record of competency and pleasure can serve you in the future if you are having thoughts about not being able to get things down or being able to enjoy anything. Refrain from evaluating your activities on an all-or-nothing scale. Instead, try to evaluate on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being low competency or low pleasure, and 10 being maximum competency and maximum pleasure. 9. Retrain yourself to be self-reliant. Self-reliance training is sometimes needed for persons with depression when they have become reliant on friends or family members to take care of daily needs. The process of self-reliance starts with taking back responsibility for self-care. It is important to begin in one area, scheduling this daily. For instance, you can start with being responsible for showering. You can also record your level of mastery in being responsible for showering. For instance, starting out, you may indicate that you were only able to get out of bed for the day and not shower. This may seem like no mastery at all, but it is more mastery that you previously had. Use your planner and feelings of competence to build yourself back up in self-care. Once you have taken on showering, you can tackle making the bed, then cleaning, etc. 10. Plan a set of go-to distractions for overwhelming times. It is important to know how and when to use distraction as a helpful method to combat rumination and intense emotions. Have a set of go-to distractions that you can use if you are ruminating, feeling overwhelmed, or feeling lonely. Some examples include exercise, having coffee with a friend, painting, reading, meditation, prayer, or playing with a pet. Write down these distraction methods in your journal or planner. Consult them frequently so that you have a reminder about your distraction plan. 11. Think about the similarities between you and others. Oftentimes, loneliness stems from the thought that your own experience is drastically different from that of others. But we all experience the same emotions, from joy and love to disappointment and anger. Consider how the human experience is universal. 12. Make small talk with people you interact with. If you're feeling lonely, it can help to have a brief conversation with the grocery store clerk or the bank teller. This will help you feel a connection with someone, even if you don't have a lengthy conversation with this person. Even a simple act like saying hello to your neighbor can help you feel more connected. This might even be the impetus you need to start a conversation that will result in a lifelong friendship.